How did Slim Dunkin's death affect you? I mean, I'm sure it's still affecting you now, but
I don't accept it. I don't accept it. Period.
Like as far as like you don't feel like he's gone?
Yep, I don't accept it.
Did you buy any candy? Did you see anyone else buy any candy?
No.
Was there ever any argument about candy?
Well, yes,
And apparently, the rapper grabbed a piece like this from another man inside. They got to arguing over it, then it started a fight, then led to a
He was actually shot right where I'm standing.
Y'all, this story is heartbreaking but needs to be heard. Waka Flocka has finally opened up about the real reason behind Slim Dunkin's tragic death, and it's way deeper than we thought. While everyone knows he was unalived, not many know about the feuds, tensions, and actions that might have led to that fateful moment. Was Slim caught up in street drama, or was there more to the story? Let's break it all down. Mario Hamilton, known to the world as Slim Dunkin, emerged from the gritty streets of Atlanta with a hunger for success and a raw talent that caught the eye of rap heavyweight Waka Flocka Flame. Their connection ran deep, forged in the crucible of Atlanta's competitive rap scene. Slim initially served as Waka's right-hand man, learning the ropes of the industry and honing his craft in the shadows of established stars. But Slim was destined for more than just a supporting role. His transition from Waka's trusted confidant to a burgeoning rapper in his own right was marked by an undeniable charisma and a lyrical style that set him apart. Slim's verses were a potent mix of street wisdom and unfiltered energy, resonating with fans who craved authenticity in their music.
I fucked my money up, shit. He would talk, that was me, him, and my little brother money, you feel me? Fuck my money up, we put our shit in the pot, we grind together, threw that shit in the pot. They get this shit popping, you feel me? So we went and bought, you know what we bought.
As Slim stepped into the spotlight, his popularity began to soar. Collaborations with other rising stars in the Atlanta scene helped cement his reputation as a force to be reckoned with. His tracks with Waka Flocka, including the hard-hitting Lurkin and Gnarly, showcased a chemistry that elevated both artists. These partnerships not only boosted Slim's visibility, but also demonstrated his versatility as an artist. What truly set Slim Dunkin apart was his electrifying presence on the mic. His performances were a whirlwind of raw energy, his words cutting through the beats with razor-sharp precision. Fans were drawn to his uncompromising style, which seemed to capture the very essence of Atlanta's trap music scene. Slim's music wasn't just heard, it was felt, reverberating through clubs and car speakers across the city.
I don't really got no rich, I always thank God though, like, nigga don't supposed to have this shit. I love nigga work every day for this shit.
In the months leading up to his untimely death, Slim's career was gaining serious momentum. Record labels were taking notice, and whispers of major deals were circulating in industry circles. His mixtapes were generating buzz far beyond Atlanta's city limits, with music critics praising his unique flow and street-smart lyrics. It seemed that Slim Dunkin was on the cusp of breaking out and claiming his place among rap's elite.
Like Slim Dunkin, he go hard in the street. Rest in peace of Slim. Like right before he died, I seen him in Kamal's, and he was telling me though he was like a fan of my music and he listened to my music.
Those close to Slim spoke of his relentless work ethic and his vision for the future. He wasn't content with regional fame. Slim had his sights set on national recognition and was putting in the hours at the studio to make it happen. His growing fan base eagerly anticipated each new release, sensing that they were witnessing the rise of hip-hop's next big thing. Yet, as Slim's star ascended, tensions began to simmer beneath the surface. The rap game is often intertwined with street politics, and Slim's rapid rise didn't sit well with everyone. Rumors of rivalries and conflicts started to circulate, casting a shadow over his promising career. While Slim remained focused on his music, the undercurrents of tension would ultimately play a role in the events that unfolded on that fateful night. In the bustling heart of East Atlanta, Zone 6 Studio pulsed with creative energy on the evening of December 16, 2011. Slim Dunkin, riding high on his recent successes, arrived at the studio ready to lay down tracks and prepare for a video for Push-Ups, a collaboration with the legendary Gucci Mane. The studio was packed that night, with at least 20 to 30 people crammed into the space. Artists, producers, and crew members milled about, their conversations creating a buzz of excitement. As the clock approached 5:30 p.m., the mood in the studio began to shift. What started as a routine recording session quickly spiraled into chaos. Initial reports suggested that an argument had broken out, seemingly over something as trivial as a piece of candy. However, as more witnesses came forward, conflicting accounts emerged, painting a more complex picture of the events that unfolded.
At this point, we have not been able to determine a motive behind the actual argument itself. However, homicide investigators have questioned at least 7 or 8 individuals that were inside of the building.
Some witnesses reported that Slim Dunkin had made a comment about someone with dreadlocks, which was perceived as a direct threat by another individual in the studio. This alleged statement, if true, added a layer of tension to an already volatile situation. The exact words exchanged remain unclear, but what is certain is that the verbal dispute quickly escalated into a physical confrontation. In the heat of the moment, fists flew. Slim Dunkin was reportedly punched in the face during the altercation, further intensifying the conflict. What happened next would forever alter the course of Atlanta's hip-hop scene. According to witnesses, the assailant left the studio, presumably to retrieve a weapon. The brief pause in the violence was shattered when he returned, this time armed. In a shocking turn of events, a shot rang out, striking Slim Dunkin in the chest.
Rapper Slim Dunkin was shot Friday evening while he was in a music studio in Atlanta. Police say around 20 people were inside the building at the time, and that Slim Dunkin, real name Mario Hamilton, had been arguing with another person as he was getting ready to record a video, and then he was shot in the chest.
As the dust settled, the gravity of the situation became clear. Slim Dunkin, the rising star who had entered the studio full of life and ambition, was now fighting for his life. He was rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital, but despite the efforts of medical staff, it was too late. The news that rocked the Atlanta hip-hop community soon spread. Slim Dunkin had been pronounced dead. As the details of Slim Dunkin's death unfolded, one surprising claim caught everyone off guard. Early reports suggested the tragic event might have started over an argument about a piece of candy. Fans and the rap community were left shocked and confused, struggling to believe that such a promising artist could lose his life over something so small. This strange detail sparked questions about whether there was more to the story than it seemed.
Hey, I want to show you this. This is the piece of candy. They sell several items like this inside the studio, and apparently the rapper grabbed a piece like this from another man inside. They got to arguing over it, then it started a fight, then led to a
As doubts grew over the candy dispute, whispers of a much deeper conflict began to circulate within the hip-hop community. Many believed Slim Dunkin's death was tied to ongoing feuds and rivalries in Atlanta's rap scene, a place where minor disagreements could quickly spiral into something much darker. One name that came up repeatedly was Kabo Gotti, an artist with a history of tension with Slim Dunkin. The conflict between Slim and Kabo Gotti wasn't just about personal animosity, it seemed rooted in industry struggles. Kabo Gotti had publicly accused Waka Flocka, Slim's mentor, of shady business practices, adding another layer to the feud. This tension suggested that Slim's Red Rum might have been tied to unresolved grudges and power struggles that went beyond just their personal issues. The situation became even murkier as some fans and insiders linked Slim Dunkin's death to the long-standing feud between Gucci Mane and Young Jeezy, a rivalry infamous for its violent history. Slim, being closely associated with Gucci Mane, may have unintentionally found himself caught in the crossfire of broader industry battles.
Grip set, man. This shit way bigger than this, bro. You gonna do it like what we gonna do? What you wanna do? That's behind us, nigga. Your eyes clear.
As speculation mounted, fans on social media began to analyze every detail, hoping to piece together the truth. Timelines were dissected, past posts resurfaced, and every rumor was debated. The idea that Slim could lose his life over a simple argument didn't sit well with the public, fueling theories about hidden motives and deeper connections. For investigators, the stakes were incredibly high. The Atlanta Police Department wasn't just dealing with a murder case, they were untangling a complex web of relationships and rivalries within Atlanta's competitive rap scene. With fans and the media demanding answers, the pressure to solve the case and find solid evidence intensified. As the investigation moved forward, it became clear that the story was far more complex than it initially seemed. Just as theories about Slim Dunkin's unaliving reached a fever pitch, law enforcement made a move that silenced the speculation. The arrest of young Vito raised more questions than it answered. What dark history did this suspect bring to the case, and how would it reshape our understanding of that fateful night in the recording studio?
Listen, we've been working on this, and just in the last 14 minutes, I've been able to get these two pictures right here of the suspect they've been looking for. They say he's known as a rapper of Young Vito. And
We want to let the public know that the individual that we believe is responsible for the death of Slim Dunkin, and that would be Mr. Mario Hamilton, is in fact Vincent Hardiman, known in rap circles and known in the recording industry as Young Vito.
Vincent Hardiman, better known in Atlanta's rap circles as Young Vito, emerged as the prime suspect in Slim Dunkin's Red Room. On December 26, 2011, 10 days after the shooting, Young Vito turned himself in to the police. His surrender came after his lawyer contacted law enforcement, indicating that Hardiman was ready to face the charges against him. The circumstances surrounding Young Vito's arrest painted a troubling picture of a man with a long history of run-ins with the law. At the time of the shooting, he was reportedly out on bond for a previous incident where he allegedly threatened his ex-girlfriend and her 16-year-old daughter with a firearm. This wasn't an isolated event in Hardiman's past. The Red Room charge marked his 9th arrest, with 4 of these incidents involving firearms.
In just the last hour, our camera was the only one there as Vincent Hardiman turned himself in to police. Hardiman is known as Young Vito in the rap world. He's also the man Detective David Quinn has wanted to find and charged with the murder of Slim Dunkin.
Police focused on Young Vito based on eyewitness accounts from the crowded studio on the night of the shooting. According to reports, the altercation began after Slim Dunkin allegedly made a threatening remark while in the recording booth. Young Vito interpreted this as a direct threat against him, leading to a physical confrontation. Witnesses stated that after the initial fight, Young Vito left the studio, only to return with a gun. Young Vito's connection to the Atlanta rap scene was tenuous at best. Unlike Slim Dunkin, who was on the rise and closely associated with established artists like Waka Flocka Flame, Young Vito operated on the fringes of the industry. The trial of Young Vito for the unaliving of Slim Dunkin promised to be a watershed moment for Atlanta's hip-hop community. The prosecution's case hinged on eyewitness accounts that painted a damning picture of the events at Zone 6 studio. According to their narrative, an argument escalated into a physical confrontation, culminating in Young Vito pulling out a gun and shooting Slim Dunkin in the stomach at point-blank range.
Where'd you keep that weapon?
In my computer bag, but I put it in the utility closet in the hallway before I left.
Young Vito's defense team, however, presented a starkly different version of events. They argued that their client acted in self-defense, claiming he felt genuinely threatened by Slim Dunkin, who was significantly larger in stature. The defense portrayed Young Vito as a man who feared for his life during the altercation, attempting to humanize him in the eyes of the jury.
Why'd you bring a weapon to the studio?
Well, the type of business that I'm in, it's a cash business, and you know, you're around a lot of people who, you know, sometimes untrustworthy. So,
as the trial progressed, key witness testimonies took center stage, revealing a complex web of conflicting accounts. Some witnesses corroborated the prosecution's narrative, describing Young Vito as the aggressor who escalated the situation beyond control. Others, however, painted Slim Dunkin as the instigator, claiming he had threatened Young Vito during the heated argument. These contradictory statements added layers of complexity to an already murky case.
When Toby told me, you know, that the guys took some stuff and didn't pay for it, I just went and addressed the issue. I wasn't rude, you know, but I just wanted to address the issue.
The jury's deliberation was marked by intense scrutiny. They grappled with the weight of the evidence presented, questioning the credibility of witnesses and examining the circumstances surrounding the shooting. When the jury finally reached its decision, the outcome sent shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond. In a surprising turn of events, Young Vito was acquitted of the Red Room charge. However, he didn't walk away scot-free. The jury found him guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, resulting in a 25-year sentence, the maximum allowed for that charge. The verdict elicited a mixed response from the public and the hip-hop community. Many expressed disappointment that young Vito wasn't convicted of red rum, feeling that justice had not been fully served for Slim Dunkin. Slim Dunkin's family, particularly his father, Mark Hamilton, vocalized their dissatisfaction with the trial's conclusion. In the aftermath, Hamilton filed an $11 million lawsuit against young Vito and several affiliates, alleging negligence on the part of those involved with the studio where the occurred. This legal action underscored the family's ongoing quest for justice and accountability. While the hip-hop community grappled with the aftermath of the trial, one voice remained conspicuously silent. What did Waka Flocka, Slim Dunkin's close friend and collaborator, know about that fateful night? His recent decision to break his silence threatens to upend everything we thought we knew about Slim's death. For years, Waka Flocka carried the weight of unspoken truths about his friend's murder. The emotional toll of losing someone he considered his right hand was evident during a recent revealing interview. According to Waka, the circumstances leading to Slim's death were far more complex than initially reported.
That's it, I don't like cowards.
So even for just the ATL rap scene to stay unified and, get stronger, you wouldn't piece it up with him?
He ain't ATL. What he do for hip-hop in Georgia? He a bandwagon person.
He hinted at underlying tensions within Atlanta's rap scene that had been simmering beneath the surface. These revelations suggest that the argument over Candy, which had been widely circulated as the catalyst for the confrontation, was merely the spark that ignited a powder keg of deeper issues. Without explicitly naming names, he alluded to rivalries and conflicts that had been brewing in the Atlanta hip-hop community.
Everybody was saying you said FGZ at one point in the concert.
Nah, I said a guy he with named Slick Puller.
Gotcha.
Period. I don't like him. Period.
You and Slick Puller?
As he spoke about losing Slim Dunkin, Waka's emotions were palpable. "It felt like I lost my right hand," he said, his voice thick with grief. As the shock of Slim Dunkin's death settled over Atlanta's hip-hop community, the questions started piling up. Would this tragedy spark any real change, or would it just be another name added to the list of lives lost too soon? The ripple effects of that moment were felt far and wide, and what followed surprised even the most skeptical observers. Artists, activists, and fans began to come together in unexpected ways, grappling with the violence that had stolen one of their own. Waka Flocka Flame, who had been one of Slim's closest friends and collaborators, was hit especially hard. The loss left a heavy mark on him, and his music reflected that grief. Waka's tracks took on a deeper tone, often diving into themes of loyalty, loss, and the fragility of life. It was clear that Slim's death wasn't just a personal loss for Waka, it became a defining moment in his artistic journey. But that wasn't all. The incident forced Waka, and many others in the industry, to take a hard look at their surroundings and how easily things could spiral out of control. The tragedy also changed how business was done in Atlanta's studios. Recording spaces that had once been open and buzzing with creativity turned into heavily guarded zones. Security personnel became a regular presence, and high-tech surveillance systems were installed to keep a watchful eye on everything. While these changes were meant to protect artists, they also came at a cost. The free-flowing, spontaneous energy that had fueled Atlanta's music scene began to feel stifled under the weight of these precautions.
Erupted earlier this year near the site of the Atlanta Fair, leading to 3 teens being shot, including a 16-year-old boy who later died. And now the fair is stepping up its security.
The loss also left its mark on the music itself. Atlanta's rap scene, known for its bold, high-energy tracks, started to show a more introspective side. Many artists began addressing the harsh realities of street life and the devastating consequences of violence in their lyrics. Songs became platforms for reflection, cautionary tales, and calls for change. This shift didn't just resonate with fans, it pushed the culture forward in a way that demanded attention. Tributes to Slim Dunkin became a significant part of Atlanta's music landscape. Waka Flocka's visit to Slim's grave on the 12th anniversary of his death was a particularly moving moment, captured in a raw social media post. The mix of humor and grief in his caption, "Candy-loving ass boy, long live Duncan LOL," showed the depth of his loss while honoring Slim's memory in a way that felt true to their bond. It was a reminder that even years later, the impact of Slim's absence was still deeply felt. Despite years of investigation and a high-profile trial, the case of Slim Dunkin's Red Rum continues to haunt Atlanta's hip-hop community. While young Vito's conviction for aggravated assault brought some closure, many questions remain unanswered, leaving a cloud of uncertainty over the events of that fateful night at Zone 6 studio. One of the most perplexing aspects of the case is the conflicting witness accounts. Detective David Quinn's initial statement highlighted this challenge, noting, "It seems everybody witnessed something very different." This inconsistency has fueled ongoing speculation about what truly transpired in the moments leading up to the shooting. Some witnesses maintain that the altercation began over a piece of candy, while others suggest more complex motivations rooted in long-standing tensions within Atlanta's rap scene. The role of loyalty and street code in obscuring the truth cannot be overlooked. In tight-knit communities where reputation and respect are paramount, the fear of retaliation often leads to a culture of silence. So, what do y'all think? Was Slim Dunkin's death really just about a small argument, or was there something much deeper going on? Do you think justice was truly served, or are there still pieces of the puzzle missing? And how can the hip-hop community learn from this to stop more tragedies like this from happening? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories like this. And hey, check out the next video on your end screen. It's going to dive even deeper into some of hip-hop's most untold and shocking stories. You won't want to miss it.